So.
Okay. All right, here we go. Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Thursday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's time for the Manufacturer Showcase. And today we have Gary, KD9SV, from KD9SV Products. Welcome, Gary.
Well, thanks, Tim. Good, nice to be with you.
Yes, so Gary, I know you've been doing this for quite a while. Just how long have you been making the KD9SV products?
Well, I retired in '99, and I was making the stuff to sell through different sources for a few years before that. So I would say probably 23, 24 years.
Okay. That is a long time, and your product line has certainly grown. I know that we carry 20 different KD9SV products, and so let's talk about some of those products. You have KD9SV Beverage on the Ground products. What do you make for the Beverage on the Ground guys?
For them, I make a single Beverage on the Ground, which is a one direction antenna terminated, and I sell a 4-to-1 matching transformer for that. For the reversible Beverage on the Ground, it's a matching transformer with 2 feed lines and a reflection transformer, and you get 2 directions out of that antenna.
That's great. How long is the Beverage on the Ground? How long should they be, Gary?
Somewhere between 160 and 200 feet.
Okay. And what if somebody can only put up, say, 50 or 75 feet of a Beverage on the Ground? Is it worth it?
Well, certainly, if they do anything on 80 meters or 40 meters, it would be worth it.
Okay. Great. Well, you know, because a lot of people just can't put up a standard Beverage, you know. So the Beverage on the Ground is really good. We're on today with Gary, KD9SV, and Gary makes a lot of products that we carry exclusively here at DX Engineering. Let's talk about some of the accessory boxes that you make, Gary.
Well, the accessory box that I make in particular for the reversible Beverage on the Ground, it consists of a low noise 20 dB gain preamp and direction switching and termination of the unused direction, so it maintains the system impedance.
Okay, well that's very interesting as well.
Well, that's one of the main reasons that people have difficulty with that antenna is they fail to terminate the unused direction.
Right.
And to do that, instead of the antenna looking like 75 ohms, it's going to look like about 200 ohms. So you get a pretty bad mismatch.
Right. So how about you've got some amplifier boxes as well? What do you have there?
Well, I've got a number of 160 meter only. Some are fixed gain, some are variable gain. I have a dual band 80 and 160 that's adjustable gain. And at maximum gain, that has about 30 dB gain.
Okay. And I see.
For people with something like a Waller flag or an antenna that requires a lot of gain, I do a BF994, 5 of those in parallel, and that amplifier has about 40, 42 dB gain. Okay.
And let's see, Papa Echo 2 Kilo says great antennas for DXers. Talking about the Beverage on the Ground. And also Dino said Gary's above ground and on the ground beverages are what helped me get DXCC on 160 meters in 1 year, and he's got 157 countries to date. And that so he says, thanks, Gary. That's from Dino KL0S. And Mark M0DXR says, is there an optimum height above ground for a beverage, and is this frequency dependent? What do you think, Gary?
Well, if I had a choice and animals were not a problem, I would put my beverages about 2 feet above the ground, or maybe 18 inches.
Right.
You don't lose much in antenna output, but you gain a whole lot in signal to noise ratio.
Right. That's a great point. And K3 Sugar X-Ray says, I have several KD9SV products, and they are excellent. And Victor Kilo 4 November Mike said he used the DXE beverage on the ground for the Oceana DX contest. It was only 80 feet long, and it was fantastic on 80 meters. And
that's a good input.
Yeah, that's good input. How about the front end saver? Why don't you tell us about your front end saver, Gary?
Well, the front end saver consists of 2 parts. One is when you key your transmitter, it disconnects your receive antenna and it shorts the receive antenna input to ground. And at the same time, it provides a soft keying circuit for a linear amplifier, which the device in there is capable of switching up to 8 amps at 500 volts. So you can key a boat anchor with those things.
Yeah, boy, that is really cool. I think I can show everybody.
You look like you're in your basement, Tim.
No, I'm not in my basement. I'm in my shack.
Oh, okay. Well, I about froze to death there one winter night running your 160 station.
There you go. Do you see the photo of the front end saver?
No.
No.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and Katie, if you take that full screen, so these are the 5 connections on the back there. Why don't you describe the connections, Gary?
Well, they're pretty much self-explanatory. You provide 12 volts to run the thing. Your receive antenna comes in the next RCA there marked antenna. QSKTR, that's the keying line from your transceiver to make the front end saver turn off and on. And the receive, that goes to the RX input of your radio after it's been protected by the front end saver. And the one marked amp, that'll key a boat anchor amplifier.
Okay, so it's got the soft keying in it. And let's see if we can find some other KD9SV products here. We talked about the reversible beverage. Talked a little bit about the preamps. Here's your preamp, and this is a variable gain, the BF981.
Right. That has a single BF981 FET. The minimum gain is about 10 dB, and the maximum gain is about 30 dB.
Okay, and
that's on both bands.
Right. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, what else do we have here? We've got you have a special here for the Pennant. Why don't you tell everybody about this product here, Gary?
Well, that's a little lightweight 12-to-1 matching transformer. It hangs in the vertical portion, in the center of the vertical portion of the Pennant antenna, and connects to the 2 stainless steel posts you see there, and then RG6 from there back to the shack.
Okay, very good.
There's a resistor included in case somebody builds a Pennant and they need a 910 ohm resistor.
Okay.
It's a small, it looks like a 1/2 watt size, but it's really a 2 watt metal film resistor.
All right, how about the Bandpass receive filler, Gary?
I built some of those in particular for my friend IV3 PRK when he was down in South America and had a terrible time there in Quito, Ecuador. I sent him a couple of these, and they completely cleared up all the interference that he was getting from the broadcast stations in Quito.
Right.
It doesn't have a whole lot of rejection, but the thing about rejecting out-of-band signals, for every 1 dB you reduce the signal, you get a 3 dB improvement. So you don't need a whole lot of rejection in the filter to make it effective.
So let's talk about the receive antenna switch, the Expedition Model 2.
Okay, this was built in particular for my friend HUD, K5 Zulu Golf, who could break anything, by the way, if you know HUD. And he had transceivers that did not have a RX input, but he wanted to use receive antennas. So I built this model for him. It does antenna changeover internal in the box. It's got 4 antenna inputs, front panel selective, and amplifier keying. And on the back, you notice it's got 2 B and C connectors for RF in and RF out of your transceiver. So you bring an antenna, receive antenna into input 1, for example. That's automatically routed to the top B and C, so that your transceiver that has no RX input can receive on a receive on a getting old here. You can receive on transceivers that do not have an RX input. It comes in through the main antenna port.
Let's talk about this the Beverage on the ground, the reversible Beverage on the ground wire. What is so special about this wire?
Well, I had that special made. It's an all copper version of WD1A. It's got polyethylene insulation on it. It's very tough. If you tried to strip it back, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's got 19 strands of number 20 silver-plated wire, and it's very low loss, very durable. Twisted wire laying on the ground, it does not work for a Beverage, but the parallel line does. And I don't know the real reason behind that, but you get a lot of cancellation off the twisted wire laying on the ground, where the parallel wire works great.
Let's talk about your adapter cables that you make also, Gary.
Okay. There's somebody that has an Icom transceiver. These adapter cables, they'll plug into the accessory port on the back of the radio, and you get 2 outputs. The red one is 12 volts, and the white one is the H send, or the keying line, which is an open collector in the radio, and it goes low when you transmit. So you can use that to key any of my boxes that require 12 volts and a keying line from the transceiver. You can run it off the accessory port of an Icom.
All right, and let's talk about this product here, Gary, the common mode choke.
Okay, I've made a ton of these things. If you put an impedance meter between the output shield and the input shield, you'll get at least 4,000 ohms of impedance or resistance to unwanted signals coming in the coax.
And this is very handy to keep the noise down.
Yes, it is. I've had people tell me that it took their noise from like an S7 down to an S1. It was, fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's very good. So a lot of great products, Gary. We're on today with Gary, KD9SV. He makes a line of products that are called KD9SV. And let's see if we have some more questions here. Let's see, questions. There we got, let's see. Jim says, my property is small. I can lay out 120 feet of wire on the ground. End to end, it is facing northeast to southwest. I know it's short. Will it work? Will it work on 160 meters, or am I wasting the money?
Well, no, I would keep the 120 feet of wire. And what I would do is be to lay it out in a square configuration, 30 feet on a side, and feed that square through both terminals on a 4-to-1 transformer. If you want to get a hold of somebody for a testimonial on that, get a hold of HUD, K5 Zulu Golf.
Okay.
He put one up, and his noise went from an S9 down to about an S1. He's happy on 160 again.
Oh, that is great, Gary. Well, I know, you know, it has been such a great relationship that DX Engineering has had with you, and I think you accused us of keeping you too busy. Because your products sell very, very well, and we're thrilled to have you on here today. And so we have a question in here. It says, Gary's wire will survive just about anything except for battling with an electric pole saw. Ask me how I know. That's our, you know. And he says, hello there. Where can you tell me to buy a coil for an MFJ 948? I would suggest going to MFJ for that, for replacement parts.
I can't help you on that.
Have to go right.
If I knew the terminal configuration and the impedance that you needed, I could come up with one. But
yeah, no, well, it's best to deal directly with MFJ.
Right.
Gary, you know, we're getting close to Christmas, and we still have some of these DX Engineering Christmas cards in stock.
Well, thank you.
They're a hit, and of course, if you're wondering what the best present is, it's the DX Engineering gift card, because you can get it without having to wait for anything. When you purchase the gift card, it's actually emailed to you or to anybody else you'd like in about an hour and a half. So that's and that way you can get the best thing. We got a surprise. Actually, we got lots of surprises here coming up. We got a special guest tomorrow. But also, we showed this DX Engineering mug, and we showed this on Tuesday with Tim and Jeff. And Ray Novak, N9JA, the sales manager for Icom America, he said, how about we have a little Christmas fun? And I said, you know me, Ray, I'm always up for some fun. So Icom America, working with DX Engineering, is going to give away 50 of these mugs. Wow. And here's how you get a mug. You have to be one of the first 50 emails that is received by Terry, KD9SV. And so write this down. This is the email address that you got to send, that I want a mug. You got to send your address. And and you know, if you're in Saudi Arabia, as long as it's a country we can ship to, we'll ship it even outside the country. Now, some countries, there's about 20 countries that we cannot ship to right now at this time with the virus and all that stuff. But so you got to be one of the first 50 emails sent to Terry, K8 Mike November Juliet, and her email address is KMNJ Kilo 8 Mike November Juliet at dxengineering.com. And if you're in there and you do it, there's the email address. If you're among the first 50, thanks to Icom America and Ray and DX Engineering, you're going to get one of these fabulous mugs. The DX Engineering mug, it's great, and holds lots of coffee or whatever else you want to have in it. So thank you very much, Ray, for suggesting that. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I can just hear Terry's email box blowing up.
So, yeah, she's a sweet lady. I met her at Dayton 1 year, the last time I was there.
Yep. Yeah. No, she's she's really good. And we have a lot of great people here at DX Engineering. And Gary, do you have any ideas for new products that you might come out with?
Well, I had one in the works, but it kind of got stalled by somebody who ran into bad weather. The detuning network for a tower. And would you know anything about that, Tim?
Yeah, that's on the list. We've had maybe this will be the year, Gary.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully that'll be it. Let's see here. We have in the new year. Which SDR transceivers do you see as lucky, promising for radio amateurs? Well, we have several SDR radios. We have SDR radios from Icom and also from Yaesu. So it's it's always changing, and the radios are always getting better. And so stay tuned for more things on SDRs.
Well, and I find my K3 is pretty hard to beat.
yeah, that's okay. I have a friend, Doug Grant, K1DG, and the K3 is so nice and lightweight. Doug, when he sneezes, the K3 just falls off the table. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's an 8-pound radio, and it'll stand up to some that are 90 pounds.
Yeah, there you go.
There's no question which one you want to take.
Yeah, and Dino says one recommendation: replace the RCA phono power plugs with coaxial types. Evidently, maybe he's having trouble. I mean,
early on, Tim, I had some RCA connectors that were not real good quality. And I threw those away, and I bought some that were about $1 a piece, and I haven't had any problems since.
On the email that you send to KD9SV, make sure that you include your shipping address. Terry is not going to go look in the call book and try to chase you around. So make sure you include your shipping addresses in the email. And she says she's getting emails that don't have shipping addresses. And I said early on, you got to have your shipping address in the emails. So her email box is starting to blow up. If you don't have the shipping address, we don't know where to send it. So let's see here. We got Dino Low Band Systems makes those products. Okay. And Ray Novak says, Gary, you ought to try an IC7610. It might be better than that K3.
Is that the small one?
No. 7610 is about half the size of one of these 7851s.
Okay.
It's a great radio, very very high performance, and so
well, with the antennas you've got though, Tim, you don't need much radio.
We're in Western Pennsylvania. We're not sitting.
I know you are, and I can see you from my back door practically, and I'm in Eastern Indiana. we gotta have everything going for us. So, but yeah. Gary, it was great to have you on today. We wish you continued success, and we're very hopeful that your products will continue to help hams all around the world. Well, I hope so. It was my intent to help people with receiving issues, and I figured if I can get over 300 countries from Indiana on 160 and all 40 zones, I'm doing something right. So
yeah, that 40 zones on 160, that is very cool.
23 tough.
Yeah. And make sure that everybody tunes in tomorrow for the weekend special. That's at 4 o'clock Eastern time and 21 Zulu. We're going to have a special guest. It's going to be fun. And that's all I can tell you at this point. But tune in tomorrow afternoon on YouTube and on Facebook.
My best to Melanie, Terry, Rod, and yourself, of course, and all the rest of the crew there at DX Engineering who have treated me wonderful.
Gary, thanks very much, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So 73 from DX Engineering.